I've had kind of an outlined plan that I had since I worked with George about where Ahsoka's progression.
Dave Filoni hit the mark with this little addition to Ahsoka's Star Wars history. Sometimes the greatest ideas are the most obvious. One thing I've learned from Star Wars is that red denotes evil and blue denotes good. So what should you do if someone exhibits mild wicked behavior? Ahsoka says that you should, of course, turn their lightsaber orange. Dave Filoni is a huge Star Wars fan. He seems to know all there is to know about the different Star Wars characters, and I wouldn't be shocked if he has seen all of the films in chronological order more often than I have. To be creative, though, you don't always need to be the most intelligent person in the universe. You see, Filoni wanted to hint that his new Star Wars villains, Baylan Skoll and Shin Hati, might not be quite who they seem as he was piecing together the Ahsoka series. During Star Wars Celebration 2023, Filoni addressed the audience and stated, "I made the lightsabers a little bit more orange. That was done on purpose. I didn't just paint them a bright red color." When I was a child, Vader's lightsaber seemed to alternate between being a visual effect and being a tad more orange. Not to come out as overly dramatic, but it's pointing out to youngsters that they may not always be who you initially thought they were. "Nothing is by accident," he continued. Having seen Ahsoka, we now know that Baylan in particular was not exactly a Sith. He wasn't as engrossed in the whole dark side thing as characters like Palpatine and Vader. Not that he was a decent man. That his lightsaber color wasn't quite as obvious as that of the typical villain then makes sense. After surviving Order 66, Baylan, a former Jedi, adopted a less honorable career as a mercenary. Nonetheless, Baylan had a lot of internal strife throughout the program, and by the conclusion, we're still not sure exactly where he fits into the grand scheme of things. Though he rejects the Jedi way of life, he also has some disagreements with Thrawn's ambitions to bring the Galactic Empire back to life. In keeping with the fact that his lightsaber does not glow in the more conventional colors, Baylan's decision to stand among the Mortis gods at the conclusion shows he has his own ideas and desires to follow his own path. Now that we brought it up, it seems clear, doesn't it? Shin Hati, his apprentice, would naturally take up the orange sword since all she truly knows is her master's methods. Her feelings and goals are a little hazy, and as we've seen from earlier Star Wars films, it's normal for people who are just beginning to connect with the Force to follow their leader's lead almost blindly. If and when Ahsoka Season 2 is released, maybe we will learn even more about those orange lightsabers. In the interim, why not check out the schedule for all of the next Star Wars films or get to know the major characters? If you're done with Star Wars for the time being, you may consider more recent films like Avatar 3, which has a similarly intricate backstory.